All right, guys, let's get right into it and start talking about this new wish frame that just came out. It's a collab with FR Skates, and it is a completely redesigned wish frame. It is not at all like the classic wish frames. I don't have a ton of experience with the classic wish frames. The couple of times that I tried them, there were multiple things that I found kind of quirky about them. The fact that on the original wish frames, you actually had to use two separate size wheels in order to get a flat touching setup all the way across. That was a little bit quirky. The H block seemed to be quite a bit taller on the classic version of the frame, so the boot down angle wasn't really my favorite. And not to mention, the older frames did not have the new small size that they've just released, so they always felt very, very long. This new version of the frame is designed to ride 60 flat, or up to 60 flat, all the way across without having to use different sizes of wheels. They also mention online that you can ride up to 64 millimeters for your outers if you want to ride anti-rocker on this frame, which I found kind of interesting. I haven't tried that. The groove seems to be a little bit lower than the classic frame, so I'm hoping that's going to give me a more favorable boot down Royale angle. And the new frame coming in a small, which the small is 241 millimeters, is really, really game changing for me because it actually fits my 6'7" SL boot. So if you ride 6'7" skates, it's good news for you. I've been riding anti-rocker for the past couple of months, but this new designed frame from Wish just really piqued my interest. So I pretty much pre-ordered it right away and started thinking about what wheels I was going to ride in it. I wasn't really sure. And wouldn't you know it, Jumbo dropped wheels, and it couldn't have been more perfect timing. My brain immediately said case closed, mystery solved. I know exactly what wheels I'm going to be using. They gave the DIY master, Heath Burley, a wheel, which may or may not have been out of necessity because I think he caught his last set of wheels on fire along with his skates. Pretty sure he did. Heath's signature wheel is a 58 millimeter, 90 hardness, semi-flat profile. So it's kind of got a nice partially flat profile with a little rounding on the edges. It is just kind of a good all-around wheel for street skating. It honestly is probably fine for park skating too, but I don't think Heath cares to step into a skate park. And that's okay. We love him for who he is. The other wheel they dropped is a gator wheel. It is just a wheel with a gator on it. It is a 58 millimeter, 95 hardness, so it's really perfect to pair for a flat setup if you want a harder wheel on the inside to avoid getting wheel bite. Thought about inserting some kind of joke about me living in Louisiana and alligators and wheel bite and alligators biting, but it doesn't have to be funny because the wheel's rad. All right, so that's enough about the specs of this setup. Let's get right into me actually trying them out. So I wanted to give this setup a good fighting chance. So what I decided to do was have 3 sessions before I give my first impressions. For the first session, I decided to take them to a freshly rub bricked and lacquered ledge that I just finished about a week ago. Not the best spot in the world. The ledge has some chunks. The ground is pretty awful everywhere. I did feel some cracks, but you know, you can't fix awful. And I'm not super familiar with the ledge, but it feels new and I was excited to skate it. So that was the first place I decided to take the skates. So let's check that out.
We can blame it on the rain. Bags packed, I knew I couldn't stay. You showed me colors that I never knew about, then showed me how to walk away. Now towards the end of my days,
Just like I do with any new frame, I started the session off with a lot of easier groove tricks, just to kind of get a feel for the boot down royale angle. I ended up getting super distracted by how nimble I was on the rough concrete riding flat again, because I've been riding anti-rocker for months, even to the point to where I was deciding that I was going to start throwing some 720s, because I figured it would be easier to land them on flat. Well, every time I landed, my body just kept over rotating because I was so not used to flat. But it ended up being a fun session, even though the session only lasted for about 45 minutes before my phone, Insta camera, and my body all decided to overheat and shut down. But I had two main takeaways from the session. Firstly, the boot down royale angle actually feels extremely similar to the Featherlight 4 frames, which I've got a little bit of history with because I skated them for 2 or 3 months on the Andrew Broom Shift Pro Skate. So the transition for me, even though I've been skating anti-rocker, it went pretty smoothly. It felt familiar. Not only did the boot down royale angle feel extremely similar to the Featherlight 4, but the frame weight itself feels extremely similar to the Featherlight 4, which surprised me because the Wish frame seems to be a much harder material. The second thing is that at no point did I feel any wheel bite, which I expected to bite at least a few times because it's been a while since I skated flat, but it just never happened. I wasn't sure if it was the frame's wheel bite protection, if it was the jumbo harder center wheels, or if it was the fact that it was a freshly lacquered ledge that I'm not super familiar with yet. But I wanted to keep trying more to see if I could get any wheel bite. So for the next session that I had, I wanted to try a ledge I was more familiar with, just to see if I'd get any wheel bite. Again, focusing on mainly groove tricks, just to try to get some wheel bite, I guess. Yeah, so let's check that out now. So to my surprise again, even on a much chunkier, dirtier ledge, I still didn't get any wheel bite. I think certain tricks that a lot of people when they're starting to skate flat have the most trouble with are usually like front farv and back royales. And at no point did I ever have any issues with those. Even at one point, I totally missed my back foot on a back royale, somehow catching the side of the frame and managing to get it into the groove as I was going without any issue continuing out the ledge. I even started doing a lot of pivot or budget, whatever you want to call them, type switch ups near the end, just to see if maybe when I was rotating at some point I would grab wheel or anything. Never happened. I might have gotten a little bit overly ambitious trying to do a full around the world on a sea ledge, but I survived, had a good time, and didn't get any wheel bite. The only time I fell was because I sucked. So it's not the wheel's fault, it's mine. At this point, I'm thinking that the wheel bite protection on this frame is like AAA quality. It's great. I haven't experienced any wheel bite at all, but I still had only skated ledges. So I wanted to skate a rail. Unfortunately, it was the middle of the week. Businesses are open. Not a lot of good spots here to begin with. So I decided to go to a DIY skate park that's 30, 40 minutes from here. It's got a lot of round coping obstacles. I figured I could get a better idea or get my first idea of what a rail feels like with the frames. So here's that. So even though I was missing like half the tricks that I really wanted to do, I still felt very, very confident in the frames themselves. I didn't feel like I was going to bite on anything. I didn't feel like an uncomfortable boot down royale angle. I just started to get really comfortable and have fun in the frames. I kind of started figuring out where the frame sweet spot was, and the more I skated and it broke in a little bit more, it felt like the bigger that sweet spot got, and I could miss my lock just a little bit and the frame would correct me to where I needed to be, which I've skated some flat frames in the past that if you aren't dead on right when you're locking in, they'll just about buck you off. They will grab your wheel, they will toss you. Maybe not for everyone, maybe it's just my style of sloppy skating, I don't know, but that's my past experience. So these impressed the heck out of me. I mean, all in all, I have been just super impressed with this frame. If you even slightly have considered testing it or trying it, I'd recommend trying it yourself. It's a pretty fun flat frame, which is funny because I really thought that I was just totally sick of flat. Thought I was done with flat. I'm really tempted to keep skating them myself because I just really want to see how they're going to break in. It's really frustrating because I have skate park commitment and I've been skating anti-rocker and I just don't know. I don't know. There are things that I like about flat and there are things that I like about anti. And this frame has almost gotten rid of some of the things that I hate about flat. Some, not all, but some. All right, guys, just a couple little small things worth mentioning about this frame. It does come with frame bolts. Whenever you purchase the frame, it comes with a set of long and a set of short frame bolts. Now, if you ride SLs like I do, you're going to learn pretty quickly that even these short frame bolts that come with this frame are too long for the SL boots. They'll actually stick up on the inside of your boot. So be prepared to use your original frame bolts, the stock frame bolts off the SL, or track down some shorter frame bolts. And last thing, probably one of the things that made me happiest about whenever I got this frame is a lot of times whenever you buy a flat frame, you're pretty well prepared to have a struggle to get the center wheels in. I've got to say, these went in like butter. There's no issue whatsoever with putting the center wheels into this frame. You don't have to fight with it, hammer it, mess up your wheels, anything like that. They just slip right in. It was beautiful. Also worth mentioning about the Jumbo wheels is they actually come with bearing spacers. I think all wheels nowadays should come with bearing spacers. Aren't those Jumboys? Jumboys. Aren't those Jumboys nice? They are. They gave you bearing spacers, or they gave them to me. You should buy some wheels and they'll give you some too. Be sure to check out the Jumbo YouTube channel if you just want to have a good time. You can also get their new wheels, and they've got new shirts and other merch exclusively on oakcity.com. So I'll leave a link in the description for that. I also got the frames from Oak City. So, I mean, Oak City's awesome. They ship faster than anywhere. I get stuff so fast from Oak City every time. It's awesome. Big thanks go out to my buddy Smitty for letting me use a song from his band Goodridge for this video. I'm going to leave a link to their Instagram and their YouTube channel in the description as well if you like the jams. Also, if you have any questions that I didn't answer, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer them. Giving the video a like or a share would be greatly appreciated. And if you decide that you want to subscribe to the channel, just go ahead and give yourself a high five. I appreciate that a lot. And I hope this video answers any questions you guys might have had about the frames. You guys have a good one.